Is it a myth or is it the truth in this day and age? In today, is it necessary that you need to be, complete camera personality if you want to do what you're doing today?
In one line, if I have to answer that question, the answer is no, you don't need to be that. The more detailed answer to this, and by the way, you bring up a very, very important question. I have these questions in my own mind. Do I need to look a certain way? Do I need to dress a certain way? Do I need to give a certain image on camera for me to be able to get a certain opportunity? Every other day, I ask myself these questions. It's an industry where glamour is certainly acknowledged. I will say it the way it is. I'm not going to deny that fact. The glamour quotient of it is much higher than other roles, right? So there are those opportunities as well. The long story short of this is what you bring to the table at the end of the day is the most important. If your strength is your ability to articulate the game or your voice or the kind of content you're creating, whether it's humor, comedy, serious content, emotional content, anything around the game, ask yourself what your USP is and let that be the most important thing. We live in a world, digital space today where look at what YouTubers are doing. Look at what some of the big content creators are doing. None of them, no one's a model, but they're just creating content that people love doing or love watching rather, right? So if you can give something that someone wants to watch, everything else is secondary, right? And that's the biggest message to people is ask yourself, what is it that you bring to the table that might be different to someone else? And if this is content that will be consumed today, I can tell you that platforms are waiting for people who can bring unique content to them. They are not going to look at how you look. They're going to be like, overall, what are you bringing to the table? And if you can give them content that can be sold or that can be consumed by the masses, that is the most important thing, right? And the looks, the presentation aspect will always play a role. The only feedback or the tip that I have is try to look as presentable as you can. You're not going to look shabby on camera. You'll do your bit in making sure you look good.
Yeah.
That's all. This is the way I look. I can't change the way I look for me to go after certain opportunities. If someone has a problem with the way I look, so be it. That's probably not meant for me then, or they have something else in mind. I have something else in mind. That's fine, right? You will get a lot of criticism your way. When I put out my first RCB video, I remember this was a pre-match show that I was doing for RCB versus CSK, the first game of IPL 2019. We were in the Chidambaram Stadium. I finished that video. We put it out. It was one of the first few videos on 12th Man TV. And one of the comments that came up was, he is so black. That's all. It was just, he is so black. And for a second, it hit me. I was like, what do I make of this? Right? So you will have people who will come up with all sorts of comments and the criticism is going to come your way, but it is basically what you take and what you deflect.